Okay, let's get into this. Today we're doing a deep dive based on these really quite fascinating excerpts into, well, into selfless service and how it might be this profound path to a genuinely fulfilling life. We're looking at parts of a work called The Hidden Path of Selfless Service. And our mission, really, is to unpack this kind of surprising idea that the greatest adventure might not actually be about you.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive, isn't it?
Totally. And why this path, even though it sounds so meaningful, is often, well, hidden, like the title says.
And what's so striking right from the start is how the source just throws down this challenge to, our usual ideas of success.
Yeah, it hits you with that question.
Exactly. What if the most meaningful life wasn't the loudest, the richest, or the most praised? It puts forward this alternative, a life lived in quiet, consistent service to others.
Quiet and consistent, not exactly what grabs headlines.
Not at all. And the source suggests it's hidden, not because it's some big secret, but because, well, the rewards aren't flashy. They're invisible to a world chasing status and instant gratification.
So people just miss it.
They walk right past it. That's the suspense the source mentions. Everyone's looking for the spotlight, the comfort, the recognition.
And they miss what it calls the narrow door.
The narrow door that leads to the most fulfilling life of all. It's quite a claim.
It really is. So for you listening, I mean, does this land with you? Does it make you question your own sort of assumptions about what a successful life looks like?
It definitely forces a rethink, doesn't it? Suggests maybe we're measuring the wrong things entirely, looking outward instead of inward.
Okay, so if it's not about the external stuff, what does this life demand? Practically speaking, the source sounds pretty demanding.
It absolutely is. It says it demands strength in silence, sacrifice without applause, and love that expects nothing in return. Heavy stuff.
Wow. Strength in silence, sacrifice without applause. That's tough.
Yeah. But here's the key part, I think. It says it begins not with grand gestures.
Right, not some huge public declaration.
No, but with a single unseen choice. It's about deciding to care when no one else does, to step forward when the world steps back.
So the starting point is asking that question.
Asking yourself genuinely, who needs me today? That's what the text pushes.
Who needs me today? That cuts through a lot of the noise, doesn't it?
It really does, because the answer could be anyone. Your neighbor, like the source says, your student, a stranger.
Even your enemy, it mentions.
Exactly. It underlines that service doesn't start on a stage. It starts in the shadows. One act of kindness, one lifted burden, one brave step at a time. It's very grounded.
In the shadows. I like that. So what happens then? You start making these unseen choices. What changes inside a person?
Well, the source describes this slow internal transformation. It says slowly something changes. You become less concerned with what you get and more focused on what you give.
A fundamental shift in focus.
A total shift. And you start to discover that true strength is in humility. It completely reframes power,
Yeah, away from controlling things externally.
Towards your own internal character. And you realize, as the source puts it, that changing the world doesn't always mean moving mountains, but faithfully moving one stone again and again.
That image, faithfully moving one stone again and again, it's powerful because it's so ordinary in a way, but also heroic.
It speaks to persistence, doesn't it? Quiet, faithful effort.
So bringing it all together, how does the source ultimately frame this path? Is it worth all that quiet sacrifice?
It's upfront about the difficulty. It clearly states a life of service is not easy. No sugarcoating there. But it insists it is noble, it is eternal, and it gives this ultimate validation, calling it the one life that will never be wasted.
The one life that will never be wasted. That's quite a statement to end on. This whole deep dive, it really paints a picture of a different kind of adventure, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Quieter, maybe less visible, but potentially far more lasting.
Rooted in purpose, not applause.
Precisely. Which leaves a pretty significant question hanging there for you, the listener, reflecting on all this from the source.
What's that?
Are you ready to choose it? And maybe even more importantly, are you ready to become it? Something to really think about.